going to go over Marvel's massive NY Comic-Con reveals. And boy, do we got some good ones. So let's get into it. This comes to us from the Direct. They say Marvel Studios is ready to break the internet at New York Comic-Con, and new announcement and reveals for the MCU have just been revealed. 2020-25 was a jam-packed year for Marvel Studios on the big and small screen, as over half a dozen new projects debuted in theaters and on Disney+. The franchise will continue its Phase 6 slate in 2026, and now fans are anxious to hear more about what the successful comic book movie franchise has in store for us next. Well, Marvel Studios has started its Up Next from Marvel Television and Marvel Animation panel at New York Comic-Con this past Saturday. First up, we have Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2. Head of Marvel TV and Animation, Brad Winderbaum, took to the stage of NYCC to discuss Season 2 of Marvel Animation's Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. The show will return to Disney Plus in fall of 2026 for new episodes, confirming this specific release time frame for the first time. Season 2 will pick up right where Season 1 left off, with a major focus on Peter Parker's lore and history. Fans will remember Season 1 ending with the reveal that his father, Richard Parker, was alive and in jail as Aunt May paid him a visit. There will also be more action with symbiotes after the season ended with a tease for Venom. Attendees saw the first publicly released footage for Season 2, which confirmed Charlie Cox's return as the animated variant of Matt Murdock's Daredevil. Additionally, Season 2 will deliver the MCU's first adaptation of Gwen Stacy. As Peter asks the character, "What do I call you?" she responds with a simple Gwen, confirming the classic love interest inclusion in the new season when they showed first footage. The footage also included a new look at Otto Octavius, better known to fans as our boy Doc Ock, and the alien symbiote known as Venom. Peter Parker returns to Oscorp and finds the symbiote before striking a deal with Norman Osborn. The trailer closes with Robbie Robertson falling off a roof a la Gwen Stacy in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and it cuts off right before Spider-Man catches him. In this section, Winderbaum hyped up Venom by telling the audiences fans of Venom should get extremely excited. Zach, that is a lot for, in my opinion, one of the best animated shows that debuted this past year. I want to ask you, what do you think about these reveals for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2? And does this get you excited?
So I have a confession to make. I haven't watched Season 1.
Sorry. You will absolutely love it. But how does this sound in general? And does this get you even hyped to go and watch Season 1 to get into it finally?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a big, Spider-Man's my favorite superhero. So the fact that I haven't watched it yet is crazy. But I'm going to check it out. It gets me excited. Anytime you bring Gwen into the situation, the fact that they're doing the Gwen death, teasing it with a different character is really cool, because we don't want you to repeat that over and over. Picky out. And also Venom, is making a resurgence. The Venom movies were very successful financially. They also have their very big fan base. So there are people out there that love that character, that version of that character, that might see the animated version and go check that out. Seth Rogen is doing a Venom movie. So I love this. Yeah, he's doing a Venom R-rated animated Venom movie.
Is
expect that laugh to come out of Venom. And also, Venom was in Spider-Man 2, the video game. So, I'm happy to see one of his nemesis kind of get the ball rolling, because it's been a long time since we saw him on TV or in film until the Venom movies. I'm down.
I do want to give you a little bit of insight about Season 1. So, when they say Venom was teased at the very end, that was all well and good. But from the very beginning, he fights a symbiote monster in the
Oh, okay.
vein of Venom. So it kind of, not Venom itself, like Eddie Brock, that story, but the symbiote has been an ongoing
Right.
theme a little bit from the beginning of season 1. And so it seems like they've been dropping these little Easter eggs that will get us really excited for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man season 2 to finally introduce the Venom that we all know and love. And so I
Yeah.
think you're right in the sense that Venom on itself is such a big pop culture icon. The symbol, the black suit, the movies helped. Spider-Man 3 didn't. But in the animated iterations of it. And so at this point, and then of course the comic book iterations, at this point, Venom is one of the most notorious Spider-Man villains that we've seen. And when you see this animated series, you'll see that they take Spider-Man very seriously. This
Okay.
show, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, is not made for just kids. There is dark, heavy adult themes that will ripple through the entire multiverse.
Ooh. And
Oh yeah.
this version of the character is a multi is a variant of the one that we know from the movies, right? Is that what's
Yes.
going on?
So from the very beginning in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, you see that this is actually a mirrored image of Earth 616.
Okay.
That instead of Tony going to Peter's house, it's Norman going to Peter's house on the couch with the song, from the intro of Spider-Man in Civil War. Same song when he walks into the apartment and sees Norman Osborn on his couch, who offers him an internship. Everything is slightly changed from Earth 616 to give this fresh new feel that also feels familiar at the same time.
Gotcha.
Very,
Perfect.
very cool, especially
Yeah.
for some animation. I love that they're taking the animation seriously, as they
Yeah.
should, because animation does not get enough love. In the
No.
reveals that this bad boy had, I mean, I want to tell you, there is a Tombstone arc that is so sick from the beginning, where you see him not at all what he's going to become, to closer to what we know into the comics. It's just such great storytelling and such great character depth that it does not feel like you're watching something animated. It feels lived in and it feels real.
Is Gwen teased in this first season?
No.
No. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're getting ready. No, she actually has a friend who crap, I forgot the friend. She's an Asian woman.
Oh, I think I've
Who's
seen her character design.
And originally, they had her written as Jessica Jones, as one of her
Oh,
best friends, and they changed it last minute. Yeah, she's
gotcha.
really, really good in it.
I wonder
All
why they
right,
did
guys.
that, because Jessica Jones is usually really close to Peter Parker in the comics, so it'd have been interesting to keep that in.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll ask them. No. All right. Next on the docket, we have X-Men 97 season 2.
Yes, I did.
X-Men 97. What?
Season 1 I did watch, so I'm in.
Very good. Very good. X-Men 97 executive producers Eric and Julia Leewald, who are married, very beautiful, showrunners and writers on the X-Men animated series, took to the stage, the original series, took to the stage with Davis to tease what's coming for the animated mutant series. They kicked off the panel by confirming season 3 is in development before telling the crowd that season 2 tees up season 3 in a massive way. The season is also confirmed to come to Disney Plus in summer of 2026. In the new trailer for season 2, which has leaked online, fans see footage of Apocalypse, who will be one of the main villains for these new episodes. The X-Men are confirmed to be scattered across the past and future as they look to get back to their time period in the 1990s, which is described by Bishop in the trailer. Jean Grey and Scott Summers' son, Nathan Summers, has grown into a teenager as well in the past. And so there is a lot of dynamics and a lot of fun stuff that they're going to get into in season 2. I want to ask you, Zach, from what you hear from what they're teasing and just from how season 1 was, how excited are you about season 2? And are you okay with it being kind of deeper into 2026, more into the summer?
It's interesting. I don't know if I feel like the X-Men show is a summer show.
Right.
But I think they believe in it because it did really well in terms of like the fan base.
Oh, yeah.
And I think so many people talked about it, and people are going to be so excited for season 2 and telling casuals and everybody about it because season 1 was so good that I think there's going to be an uptick for season 2, similar to like what happened with Invincible. Invincible season 1 didn't like hit it out of the park, but then people hyped it up, and then season 2
there was like 3 years between.
yeah, and then season 2 got up onto the charting because everybody that didn't watch season 1 at first got into season 2. So I think that's going to happen with X-Men 97. And I also like the details about it because the season 1 was such a specific story,
Right.
and I think they did a really good job telling a beginning, middle, and end. And I don't want them to kind of like stretch that out too much. So I like that Apocalypse is going to be such a big part of it. We have a new setting. We're going to be telling a fresher story that has ripple effects from season 1. So I'm really excited.
I completely agree. And, unfortunately, they did not collect people's phones. And so I did watch the trailer for X-Men 97 season 2. And I have to say, this bad boy looks really good, where the X-Men after season 1 finale are scattered throughout time. Wolverine and Morph appear to have formed an alliance with Sabretooth and Lady Deathstrike in the present, while we also get to see Polaris, Danger, and X-Factor. Apocalypse also gets plenty of spotlight. No surprise when he's set to be the main antagonist. And then, as previously mentioned, Cyclops and Jean Grey are shown in costumes that closely resemble their 2000s outfits from the Grant Morrison run New X-Men. And so what's really interesting with the second season is the fact that Bo DeMaio is no longer serving as head writer and showrunner.
Yeah.
However, many of his ideas have reportedly made it into season 2, and it won't be until season 3 where we really feel the missingness of Bo DeMaio. Whether, Matthew Chauncey can take this series to the same heights is still to be seen. So I'm really excited. And we've heard a little bit from Marvel Television boss Brad Winderbaum, who talked to Entertainment Weekly and said, we've talked about this before, and I'm very grateful to Bo. We launched this series together. I think he did an excellent job. Frankly, I don't really look at it or read anything into it, so I don't really know what people are talking about the quality of the show dipping at all. When asked about the possibility that Gambit will be one of the Apocalypse's horsemen, Death, he said, that tease certainly matters, and Apocalypse is a big part of season 2. And that's all he gave for that. So all I can say is X-Men 97 is the best animated thing that Marvel has done since Disney has bought Marvel. It is hands down every little bit of what the original X-Men animated series was and more. And I cannot wait for season 2. Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah, I agree. And I gotta say, yes, they're taking both ideas, but taking someone's ideas and executing it like they would is two very different things.
Yes, I totally agree. But that writer's room is not a one-man show. So I really hope this allowed other writers to step up and show them that they are in love with this X-Men lore as much as Bo was. So only time will tell. Let us know. Are you guys excited to see X-Men 97 next summer? Drop a comment below. All right, guys. The next topic that we're going to talk about that they announced is Daredevil Born Again Season 2, baby. Marvel Studios moved from animation to live action for new information on Daredevil Born Again Season 2, which is confirmed to debut on Disney Plus in March 2026. Fans got to see the first trailer for the new season, which offered plenty of details about the story. Stars Charlie Cox and Kristen Ritter, as seen above, made appearances on stage to uproarious crowd. Karen Page and Matt Murdock rekindled their romantic relationship they built during the original Daredevil series on Netflix, getting milkshakes in a diner and giving off romantic tension. Matt is also attacked by something sonic in nature, they teased. Other shots highlighted Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin boxing in a gym. He appears to have an underground prison similar to what fans saw at the end of season 1. There is also likely a flashback look at Eldon Henson's Foggy Nelson with long hair after his tragic passing in season 1. Ritter's Jessica Jones shows up on screen in her first action for Marvel Studios since Jessica Jones season 3 wrapped up in 2019. Ritter also called it surreal to return to the MCU feeling as if no time passed at all. Davis also discussed assembling a team to defend New York City, teasing a potential Defenders reunion after Netflix's Defenders saga ended in 2019. Cox seemed to agree with this sentiment, but fans will still wait for characters like Luke Cage or Iron Fist to join the mix. Footage also included Wilson Bethel as Bullseye, but he was not wearing the costume he used in season 1. Did you see Daredevil Born Again season 1?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Woo! Thank God. What do you think about these tidbits they gave of the trailer that premiered at New York Comic Con? And does this give you any excitement about season 2 of Daredevil Born Again?
Yeah, it definitely does. I think season 1 is a mixed bag because if, obviously they're working on it and it's a mix of what they scrapped versus what they want to continue. And now the people who continued, where I think the show got better in the second half of it, I think those people are going to do that for the whole season now. And I'm excited for the show to feel like on the level of the original Netflix series, in terms of like elevated superhero content. Bringing back Jessica Jones, exploring Kingpin going back into full villain mode and having this underground dungeon sounds interesting because I always thought that the underground dungeon that they showed in season 1 was interesting, but even going further for them to have another one and it maybe being even darker, I think it would be really interesting. I really want the Kingpin character to evolve past kind of where we are right now. It feels like he's kind of spinning in circles. I want him to move a little further, either go full villain or become reformed. So I'm excited to see that, and especially I love Jessica Jones series, so I'm excited to see her get integrated, and hopefully eventually we get a Luke Cage cameo. Hopefully.
I really hope so, but I think the most important thing, like you said, is that Daredevil Born Again season 2 feels consistent with what we grew to love from the Daredevil Netflix series. Of course, the first season had to be Frankenstein a little bit, filming it for 6 to 7 weeks, scrapping it, going back to basics, bringing in the elements from the Netflix series back into it, and then starting again, which can really make your season disjointed. I, for one, love the first season of Born Again for what they had to go through and the results that happened. I thought they did a fantastic job. The scenes between Daredevil and Punisher, once again, some of the best scenes we've seen in any comic book content thus far. The relationship that they have, the juxtaposition of Punisher and Daredevil is the epitome of what it means to be a hero and where that line is and what it means when you cross it. And the fact that we had scenes where they fully get to talk about this again, like the rooftop scene, made the season that much better. And I hope we get more of that in season 2.
Yep.
On top of that, it has come out recently from Brad Winderbaum, who is the bomb, that there might be more connection between Daredevil Born Again and Spider-Man Brand New Day than we thought. Marvel's head of television and animation, the Brad Winderbaum, recently confirmed that there will be some connectivity between the upcoming second season of Daredevil Born Again and Spider-Man Brand New Day. But fans are hoping to see the Man Without Fear in the next Spidey movie. And hopefully that is what we're getting. Winderbaum revealed that he has been in contact with the Brand New Day team to ensure that there is coherence between both projects during a recent interview with EW. He says, "We are communicating a lot with the team on Spider-Man Brand New Day to make sure that there's coherence there. We don't want to spoil anything, but it very much exists in the same world and it is important. We're in a shared universe together, but I would say just the Daredevil comic books, the Punisher comic books, depicted a certain tone in an idea of New York in a different way than Spider-Man's, but they will both exist in the same universe. It's similar. Everything lines up and the impacts are felt, but we are able to tell different stories. I think everything will go in order. Daredevil season 2 comes out before Spider-Man. And like I said, there's a coherence there. They're part of the world, but I wouldn't put too much faith in a big, strong narrative connection." What do you think about these comments? And what do you think from these comments that means for Spider-Man Brand New Day, as you do know, which will feature the Punisher heavily?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Based on what you just said, I feel like he said a bunch of nothing. I do feel like he said a bunch of nothing. I feel like that's I feel like it's a headline for the articles to say Born Again will be important for Brand New Day. So now people are like, oh, I gotta watch Born Again now. And then when you watch Born Again, you're like, stuff happens. Like, oh, I'm excited to see these threads move on to the Brand New Day, and the Brand New Day comes, and they don't really touch on it at all. He said, like, yeah, we're in the same world, which obviously we know that already. We know that Daredevil's in the MCU.
New York's. It's like, okay, so what are you saying? That we're in the same world, or it's different? Like,
yeah, like we don't even know where in New York Spider-Man is anymore. And obviously Hell's Kitchen is different from where Spider-Man usually travels to. And then also is like, then you said don't bank on too much narrative connection. So then when you say that, I'm like, okay, why would I get hyped that, well, I'm going to see him swing by a building that's in Born Again?
Get hype or don't get hype? You know, like, what are you telling us here?
Yeah, what are we telling us? I'm happy that they're communicating, right? Because that's been an issue in the DCEU, the MCU in the past, where directors are not communicating with the other directors. So then, let's say if we set certain rules of New York in Born Again, and then Spider-Man does come out and he just does like it's a different mayor, a different, you know what I mean? Like Kingpin is not the mayor anymore, and he casts somebody else. That's where I think,
with season 1 of Daredevil Born Again, we thought there might have been some ramifications that will lead into Thunderbolts, which also heavily takes place in New York. There is no mention of the events that happened in Daredevil, of Kingpin being mayor, or anything like that at all. So to your point, they already did something similar, and once it went to the movies, there was no mention about anything that happened in that show in New York again. So you're kind of messing with our hopes, and also the history that has come thus far, where you've teased it and nothing came to fruition.
I'll say a little devil advocate there. Thunderbolts never explicitly is. We don't know if that's before Born Again or after Born Again. That's the only cope I'll give them. I think for Brad Winderbaum to say Born Again happens right before Brand New Day, it's coming out first, and it happens right before Brand New Day. I think the fact that they're pointing it out makes it like, okay, things that are set in Born Again and what's set up in that version of New York has to be consistent with Spider-Man. Even if it's a Sony production, it's still within the MCU. Thunderbolts, I can give a pass because the MCU's timeline is, I don't know, where's what. So Thunderbolts could have happened before Daredevil, even though it came out after Daredevil. But them specifically saying Brand New Day comes out after Born Again, and it leads right into it. Now I'm looking for stuff now.
No, I totally agree. But only time will tell. Let us know what you guys think. Does this excite you? about Daredevil Born Again Season 2? Were you kind of a little on the fence when it came to Season 1 and a little weary about Season 2? Drop a comment below and let us know what you think. All right, guys. After that, we got some great first looks at the next MCU TV series that is coming out on Disney Plus, and that is our boy, the Wonder Man. And we got some great tidbits from them. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, one of the most underrated actors in the game right now, will play Simon Williams, and Sir Ben Kingsley is back as Trevor Slattery. They got their moment to shine at Marvel Studios NYCC 2025 to discuss their work on the upcoming Wonder Man series. After the confirmation that it was delayed until 2026, a day prior, the show is now set to arrive with a full 8-episode drop on Disney Plus on January 27, 2026. Marvel Studios shared the first official poster for the Wonder Man series, which can, using a magazine printing for The Hollywood Reporter, the front page teases the idea of superhero fatigue as its cover story, while using an outline of a red-caped hero on the cover image. Marvel Studios also released the first official trailer for Wonder Man, which we're about to watch right now. Should we get into it?
Let's get into it, man.
Let's do it, my friend. Let's dance. Put on. No, let's watch it. Do a watch. Let me see. Interesting. I haven't done a dual watch in so long. I'm like,
how do I set this up?
Yeah, how do I set this up? I know what I'll do. I'll just put it right here for us, okay?
Okay.
I mean, I'm so excited for Wonder Man. One thing that I think is very true that I already mentioned is Yahya Abdul-Mateen II is a very underrated actor.
Yeah.
And we've obviously seen him in a lot of stuff that we love, like when it comes to, the Watchmen series and stuff like that. But and then obviously, Aquaman and all that stuff. But I really think, Candyman. But I really think this is going to be his time to really shine and show his acting chops. Let's take a look and see what we're getting into when it comes to this show. Let me know if you cannot hear it, okay?
The entertainment world is stuck today when internationally celebrated and reclusive filmmaker Von Kovac sprung out of retirement to sign on for a remake of Wonder Man. Mr. Von Kovac, could you tell us more?
Everyone is tired of superheroes. There is an opportunity
DC crossover?
to remake a whole genre of storytelling.
Have you thought about casting?
So, what's this big audition you were talking about?
It's a huge opportunity. I'm auditioning for Wonder Man.
The way you said it, Wonder Man.
In this movie.
Sorry, you crazy.
I was born to play this character.
Are you serious? Boo, they are already talking to Leo.
Leo? It's always Leo. It talks with everything.
Always everyone's first choice.
You just gotta go out there and crush it.
What's wrong?
I'm trying to come up with a backstory for the character.
Well, trust the words. Just show up and say them.
That's not my process.
I love that they're friends.
The process can go blow
That
spider.
is so random. Like, oh, we met in acting school.
In there, bro.
Where have I seen him before?
Pretty sure he used to be a terrorist.
He was.
You can slate whenever you're ready.
Simon Williams, reading for Wonder Man.
Trying to get that Gene jacket.
Listen to me, Simon. The callback is happening now. Just be normal.
Fallon is great.
The breakdown is go
Even though
message.
everything was better on Yahya.
Come in. Mr. Kovac will meet you in the living room.
So it's like Warner Herzog or something like that.
So you are here
Yeah.
with Von Kovac?
Director.
Hello, everyone. I want to explore the place between fiction and non-fiction.
That's tight.
We are going to make the last movie on Earth. No one will have the balls to make another. And action!
Any news from Von Cobain?
There is news to be the first to know, unless you call me
jacked.
again, in which case I will never tell you.
I love that. Give us all 8. Let us binge it. You know what I mean?
Feels like
Let us-
Echo. Like, you know how they dropped all the episodes of Echo
Yeah, I hope not. That
in
scares me.
January.
That scares me a little bit. I like parts of Echo, but overall, I thought it had a lot of issues, to be honest. But
That's fair.
I feel like with this show, Wonder Man, we are getting something that we haven't seen, just like with WandaVision, where this is not just like She-Hulk, it's also a comedy, but it's also a superhero, and there's also CGI. This is straight up a comedy about an actor struggling in Hollywood, trying to make it, trying to get a breakout role, and it just happens to be the Wonder Man role. And that's something that we have never seen in the MCU before. And that's why I have more faith that dropping these 8 episodes out is more in the vein of like a show they would drop on Netflix, as opposed to a weekly show like Daredevil, because it hits different when you're able to be with this person through the journey at your own pace. That's my hope.
I agree. And Kenny Sparks said in the chat, the most interesting about this, that there's nothing super about it. The trailer is so intriguing, so fun to watch, and you forget that it's an MCU project, which I think is really interesting. Because this feels like Marvel's The Studio, the Seth Rogen show. This feels like their version. This is like if that was inside of the MCU.
I hope so.
I think there's gonna be a lot of meta. There's a lot of, I think there's already a lot of meta stuff in the trailer. The fact that he said we're looking at Leo, because there's a whole joke ever since Christian Bale said, you know, they always go for Leo first, and then if he says no, then everyone else has a chance. So them just doing that makes me feel like we're gonna get a lot of meta Hollywood jokes, which I think makes a lot of people who love Hollywood love this show, and then they're gonna find a way to tie it into the super part of it.
I that's my hope too. I hope there's a scene where we see on the lot someone is practicing his lines for the Iron Man movie, and it zooms out and it's Tom Cruise.
Oh, don't do that.
And it's like,
now this don't happen.
He's up for the role of Tony Stark in the Iron Man movie. Hella meta in the MCU universe. Like, what better way to do it?
I love that. Or like we see the musical, the Steve Rogers musical, like they're doing a part 2 to it or something like that from the Hawkeye show. I would love that. Like little things like that. Just kind of touching on the difficulties of being an actor and trying to get roles. Should be a very interesting.
I totally agree. And I would love also, you know how like Wicked is really big, that now they're making Rogers the Musical a movie, you know, like that, like in what you were saying. So they're like, oh my God, I'm up for like Rogers the Musical, the movie, you know, like, so there's just so much you can play with, and it's time to make fun of yourself in the MCU. And what better way to do it through the eyes of an actor who is just overshadowed by the stars in this universe, which are real heroes. Those are the stars in this universe. You know, Leo might be the biggest actor, idea. But he ain't bigger than Iron Man in this universe.
That's perfect. And Kenny Sparks, did you see the directors for each episode? They posted it.
No, I did not see it.
So episode 1 and 2 is going to be directed by Destin Daniel Cretton.
Okay, not Evan Bernstein.
Shang-Chi and Spider-Man, Brand New Day, obviously.
Yeah, he's showrunner.
The guy who, but he's going to be directing the first 2 episodes. The guy who did Shrinking is directing the first 3 and 4. The lady who did Poker Face is doing 5 and 6, and then the person who did Insecure is doing the last couple. So I think that's going to be really interesting.
This is probably one of the most stacked directors lists that I've seen in a Disney Plus project since probably the people that they get for the Star Wars, like Ahsoka,
like Mando.
and Mando. Thank you. And Mando, that director's roundtable was just incredible. This feels like that, but with comedy, and they get it right. The best thing about comedies today, like with Shrinking, like with the studio, is that in the comedy, there's always some tragedy. There's always some like the hope that you will be as big as you thought you could be, that you want to see your potential through, that there's a star in there if someone would just give you a chance. And to see someone go through that and fail time and time again and finally get this role and then realizing it might not be the role that he thought it was going to be. That is something that can be truly special. And when I say like WandaVision, it's because WandaVision as a superhero bends the genre in such a way that you could never see me coming. That was my Trevor Slattery impression right there.
And I'll say Agatha all along as well bends the genre as well. Kind of being like a witchy adventure and not really a stereotypical superhero, like good versus evil.
100%. 100%. And now that you've mentioned it, I want you guys to drop a comment below and let us know what you think. Are you excited for Wonder Man? Does dropping all eight episodes at one time make you a little bit hesitant? Let us know what you think. But Zach just said a great transition. And as we know, some of the best shows on Disney Plus when it comes to the MCU is WandaVision and Agatha in the past 4 years. But we have a show coming out that is going to conclude this trilogy that we've seen thus far. And we got some great tidbits at New York Comic-Con for Vision Quest. To close off the Marvel Animation and Marvel Television panel, Winderbaum and Davis brought up Vision star Paul Bettany to share new information on Vision Quest, including confirming the show's title. This will mark the third and final chapter in the memorable MCU trilogy, arguably the best, that kicked off with WandaVision and led into Agatha all along. Bettany discussed the show by detailing how Red Vision gives White Vision all of his memories, including everything that happened in Wanda Maximoff's Hex during 2021's WandaVision. However, White Vision struggles to connect with those memories and lacks the emotions or feelings associated with them. According to Bettany, White Vision's journey through this show is trying to connect with those memories. A short trailer then revealed many of the show's new cast members who play human forms of some of the MCU's most notable AI systems. Henry Lewis plays Dumb-E, D-U-M-E, from the Iron Man saga. Jonathan Sayer portrays You. Orla Brady embraces the role of Friday, and Emily Hampshire joins the show as Edith from Spider-Man Far From Home. Additionally, James Darcy makes his grand return to the MCU as Jarvis, first playing the role in both seasons of Agent Carter before returning in Avengers Endgame. Finally, our boy James Spader is back in the Ultron metal seat on his first MCU project since debuting in Avengers Age of Ultron. The footage concluded with a quick look at Rurid Molika on a CCTV recording where he is identified as Thomas Shepard. Fans will recognize him as the reincarnated version of Tommy Maximoff, also known as Speed, Billy Maximoff's twin brother and Wanda's other son. A full description of WandaVision footage can be found deeper in the direct if you guys want to check it out. While Vision Quest will still confirm its release later on, it is to be said that it will arrive on Disney Plus sometime in 2026. Well, my friend, we are here. We are at the conclusion of the WandaVision trilogy, arguably the best thing that the MCU has done on Disney Plus thus far. What do you think about these details? And what do you think about using Vision Quest to cap off this amazing trilogy that we've seen?
I
Dun,
am
dun, 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 you know.
irrationally excited about this show. Irrationally. Because WandaVision is still my favorite MCU show. Well,
Hands down.
favorite Disney Plus MCU show. Agatha All Along, I absolutely loved. I went to that show just like, I don't want to watch this, and I ended up loving it.
Surprised. Happily
Surprised the crap out
surprised.
of me.
But how can
And
we be when it's Jack Schaefer?
Jack
He's
Schaefer,
so
so good. And Vision Quest is a storyline from the West Coast Avengers that deals with similar things. Him struggling with his memories, him struggling with the finding out what his children really are. We just got announced that Speed is going to be in it, so that dynamic is going to be there. I love when the MCU takes takes things from the comics and adapts them in the MCU. I feel like a lot of times they've been trying to do these original stories in the MCU that has nothing to do with the comics, and I feel like you lose the plot when you do that, literally. So the fact that we are getting the actual Vision Quest, but obviously changed to fit within the MCU, I think is going to work really well. I love that we're getting all the AI brought to like life in real life in here. That's so cool. Kevin Spader is very underrated. His performance in the MCU as Ultron, he did a phenomenal job bringing that character to life.
Yeah.
In Age of
Infinity
Ultron
too.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Best
He did a
part
great
about
job.
What If.
Yeah.
It really showed why you guys should take Ultron more seriously. And it's completely, it might not be, I think it's his voice doing it, James Spader, but it shows you how powerful James Spader's unique take on Ultron and his voice is. It just amplified how good he really was in Ultron, and he really didn't get the love that he deserved at the time when Age of Ultron dropped.
Yeah, and obviously there's many different reasons. It's not of the quality of the first Avengers. I still think it's a great film, but just seeing him be able to be like show his face now and give a similar performance while being the face of it, I'm really excited for him to do that and see that dynamic with Paul Bettany, like without all the green screen and the dots and stuff like that. I think that's gonna be really dope.
Yeah, we are in for a very heady, hard sci-fi series that we have been clamoring for the MCU, and the man that will take us there, Terry Matalas, is the man that can do it. He is so good. He is one of my favorites. Are you ready for this? My boy has done arguably the best season of Star Trek Picard. He also did one of my favorite sci-fi shows of all time, 12 Monkeys, which Emily Hampshire is in. So he brought his girl from that show to Vision Quest, which I cannot wait to see. She is an underrated actor. She is so good. She took on the Brad Pitt role, if you will, for the TV series, played it fantastically. On top of that, she's in Schitt's Creek as well. So the fact that Terry Matalas is really like taking what he learned in these other sci-fi shows. I mean, the dude worked on Star Trek Enterprise. He has been in the game of sci-fi on television for so long, and everything that he's learned all the step away along the way has culminated into Vision Quest. So I really think we are in for a treat because this man knows hard sci-fi, and to inject that into the MCU and conclude this epic trilogy, there's no one better that can do it. So I am very excited for not only the people that he casted, but the people behind the scenes that are on board for this project are going to really take this to new heights and conclude the trilogy of WandaVision in a way that we never thought was possible.
Yeah, and WandaVision was more Wanda than Vision, right?
Right.
He was part of it, but I think it was more Wanda. I'm excited for him to finally get more fleshed out and do things. And we might end up getting there's a comic book, award-winning comic book where he builds a family. we might end up getting to see his family in here. I think her name is Viz, who ends up joining the Young Avengers / Champions.
The daughter, right? She's like a robot.
Yeah, the daughter. Yeah, she ends up becoming a real construct and teams with Kamala and other characters and becomes like a Young Avenger. So I would love to see that tied in, like Speed and her, like I guess technically brother and sister. Kind of go off and do things together, stepbrother, stepsister, and do things together. I think there's a lot of exciting things that can come out of this show. I just hope that they give the time and the budget because it's going to be heavily sci-fi, like you said. So it's going to be a lot of VFX and CGI.
I totally agree. I think if done right, we are in for another surprise treat, just like Agatha All Along, which, to your point, Agatha All Along closely tied to Wanda and less to Vision. So it's really about time for Vision to have his point of view, his plight, what he's gone through, not from the side of the Scarlet Witch. And I think Paul Bettany, being the actor that he is the man to really drive this trilogy home. So I know we've hyped it up a lot, but it's for good reason. And for some reason, I feel like we're not wrong.
I feel like all the shows next year are about to be bangers. This, Wonder Man. And I wonder if Wonder Man will tie into all this too, because in the comics, Wonder Man is in a relationship with the Scarlet Witch, and he gets into beef with Vision. So I can see all these characters kind of interacting with each other eventually.
I hope so. I really hope so. Well, you guys, let us know what you think. That will wrap it up for Marvel's massive New York Comic-Con reveal. Did you get excited about the things that are coming? Do you find that maybe they're too far out of them and you want them now? That's okay. Drop a comment below and let us know what you think.